What size RV is right for you? Hey, welcome to Two Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors, you are in the right place. Alright, so you're considering buying an RV. Well, this is the right channel. Right now we're releasing a lot of videos on RVs. This one we're going to be talking about what size RVs should you buy. And there's a lot of questions that you need to ask yourself if you're thinking about this and you kind of don't know what size you want to buy. Right off the bat, you have to understand, so let's assume you decide you're going to get a travel trailer for this particular video, and you want to know what size travel trailer you want to buy. First, you have to know what you're going to have for a tow vehicle. Now, if you already have a tow vehicle, it's very important that you know the capacity of that vehicle and what it can tow, and you know what kind of a hitch you can put on and things like that. So that's number one. You really need to know what it can handle before you really go any further than that. If you don't have a tow vehicle, well then you got a little bit more freeway as far as what you want to do, because you can always purchase the tow vehicle that will handle what you choose for an RV travel trailer. With that in mind, the bigger you get, the more expensive you're going to have for a tow vehicle. It's going to be much bigger and things like that. Now, as far as heading out camping and what you want, it really depends on what kind of camping you're going to do. And really there's no right or wrong answer here, but there are some things you have to keep in mind. If you plan on doing a lot of boondocking, and that is camping without hookups in state parks or BLM land and things like that, then the bigger RV you get, then the less chances that you'll be able to get into some places, some really backcountry places down, logging roads and things like that do have places that you can camp for free, but you can't get in there with big rigs. So you got to keep that in mind. So another thing to keep in mind is the state and national parks. If you're going to be staying at a lot of those, then not all of those can handle the great big rigs. And from my research, I found that if you keep your unit under 30 feet, then you can fit into about 90% or a little bit more than 90% of the national parks that are out there. There are some that just can't handle the bigger rigs, so you got to keep that in mind. If you really plan on doing that, and that's what you want to do, you may want to keep your unit under that size. I would encourage you to do your research, find out which ones you can't get into, because if those are ones you want to be at, then you want to make darn sure that your unit will fit. So keep that in mind. Another thing is, if you're going to be staying anywhere for a length of time, what kind of camping are you going to do? In other words, are you just hauling your camper to a location like a campground or something like that and just going to set up for the week? In that case, you could probably get a pretty good size unit, and so you could really have all of the luxuries of home if that's really what you're looking for. Or some people are happy going to a place and staying with a tent. So again, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's what you're looking for, what your vehicle is capable of, what you're comfortable towing. You gotta take that into consideration. Have you towed stuff before? If you haven't, I would suggest you start off small, because sometimes you get into these big fifth wheels that can be very overwhelming. Getting those things into places, backing them in, stuff like that. So those are some things to keep in mind. Now, if you plan to travel full-time in an RV or travel trailer, then again, there is no right or wrong answer here, but things you want to keep in mind is, if you're going to be in that thing full-time, you want to make sure it's going to fit all of the comforts that you need to live on the road. Now, for some people, that is the smallest, little camper vans. People are perfectly happy with that, and that's perfectly okay. Other people really need that giant fifth wheel or that 42-foot motorhome just to be comfortable. So again, there's no right or wrong answer here. You got to put the thought into it, and of course I encourage you to get out there and get inside some of these to see what what works for you. So like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. There's some key things to keep in mind. Tow capacity of your tow vehicle, parks that you may or may not be able to get into if you have a larger unit, what you're comfortable with. Are you going to be on the move all the time? If you're on the move all the time, I recommend a smaller unit. It's much easier to hook up and haul a small unit all over the place, and if you're changing locations constantly. If you're going to be staying somewhere, not such a big deal. The bottom line is there's really no right or wrong answer. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but it's the truth. You have to do your own research, and some of that can be done right here on this channel. I've got loads and loads of videos about travel trailers and other camper related stuff. More importantly, get out there, get into the dealerships, walk around in the campers, take a look what you think is going to work for you. Check out the different sizes. If you have a vehicle you know is going to tow, that you're going to be using to tow, make sure you know the tow capacity of it, so when you go to the dealerships you can be looking at the units that fit that. If not, make sure you know what you want to get for a vehicle and what that's going to be able to handle. Do your research and then find out what you like and what's going to work for you. No matter what you end up choosing to go camping with, you want to make sure you have a good time. And I've done something to help with that, and that's created an ebook as well as a pre-trip checklist that will give you the tools to help make sure your unit is ready to hit the road. And you can get that just by clicking in the link down here below. It's pretripchecklist.gr8.com, completely free. So go ahead and get that, and so you can use that to make sure you and your camper is ready to hit the road. Bottom line is we want you to have a great time, and as always, happy camping.